The summer before starting university, I fell in love with reading again. I could spend the entire day reading in the sun, and during my first year of studying, I would spend entire evenings entranced by a story. But lately, I've been having a hard time doing the things that I love. Sitting down with a good book and a cup of tea is not something I do very easily when there are so many other distractions more readily available. And I know that in order to change that, I need to give myself more opportunity to sink into a story and carve out time specifically for this hobby. So, during this weekly reading vlog, I will challenge myself to read 1 hour every single day. Hello everyone, welcome to another reading vlog. This week I am going to challenge myself to read every day for at least an hour. I'm very excited about that. I recently saw Brit from basically Brit do some videos like this, and it really helped her getting into the reading mood and getting a lot more reading done. So I thought, you know what? I think this is the kind of thing that I need to try for myself as well, to just, give myself that little extra push to get myself into reading. First, I wanted to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Nordgreen. They are a Danish watch company that make minimalist watches, and they care about people and the environment. I wear my Nordgreen watch every single day. I cannot go without a watch ever. And you know me, if there is a sustainable option for something, I always think that that is the best option to go for. And the great news is that I can give you guys a discount code. So if you want to buy a watch for a loved one or just for yourself, for some self-care as a little treat, you can use my code BOOKLEO for 15% off, or use the link in my description. So that is 15% off on top of the already 20% discounted price of bundles. And I really like that for like a really nice quality and sustainable brand. They are affordable. Here are some pretty shots of me wearing the watch. I am wearing the Philosopher design, which is their unisex model with a 2-piece dial. I'm currently wearing the brown leather strap, but in a bundle you get an extra strap, so I also chose a black one so I can switch it up when I want to. It's very easy. And they also have a variety of other designs and straps on their website. And last but not least, let me explain to you how Nordgreen is sustainable. They have sustainable packaging made of upcycled plastic bottles and FSC certified cartons. They choose carbon neutral shipping partners and plant thousands of trees to offset carbon emission generated by the office in Copenhagen. And they have a giving back program where they donate to 3 global NGOs, Water for Good, Pretham UK, and Cool Earth. In 2020, Nordgreen donated 33,000 months of education, 64,000 months of clean water, and protected 900,000 square meters of rainforest. Thank you again to Nordgreen for sponsoring this video. I highly recommend checking out their watches. So if you want to get one for yourself, use my code BOOKLEO to get 15% off, or click the link in the description. Now let's move on with the vlog. So which books am I going to read? Let's take a look at the books that are on my nightstand right now. First of all, I am still reading Rebecca Solnit's Hope in the Dark, which I have been reading for the past few reading vlogs, and I still haven't finished it. It's like a very short non-fiction about kind of hope and progressive politics, and it's interesting, but I just cannot get myself to read more than 1 chapter of this book at a time, and I never feel the need to like sit down and read this book. And I've already noticed the benefits of this challenge, because this morning I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read a book while I have my breakfast instead of watching YouTube. So I read a chapter of this book. I've already have a half an hour of reading done today, just because I kind of gave myself a little extra reason to sit down and pick up a book. So I really hope I can finish this one this week. And then the other book that I'm super excited about is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So despite me loving this book a lot, I've been reading it for almost 2 weeks now, and I'm only at page 200. And that is because once I'm reading this, I'm really into it, but I still just don't really find myself sitting down to read very often. So I'm really excited to see if this challenge of reading for at least an hour every day is gonna make me read this book a lot more and get me to finish it a lot quicker. I'm excited about this.
Later that evening, I decided to read before going to sleep.
Hello! So, update. So yesterday was my first day of reading an hour every day, and I did make it. I read half an hour in the morning and then another half an hour before I went to bed, and I immediately ran into my first problem. And that is, well, at first everything seemed great. You know, I was going to bed, you know, completely ready to just go to sleep, go to dreamland, but then I was like, no, I still have to get my half-hour reading done to get to an hour, so I still have to read a bunch today. So I picked up the Night Circus and I read a bunch, and it was really great. So it really was, you know, like a nice push to just get myself to read some more, and I really enjoyed what I read. The problem, however, is that I always go to bed later than I want to, so when I'm in bed and I still have to like read something, I'm really drowsy and I just want to fall asleep. I almost fall asleep, and that's what happened. Like, I was reading the book and I was just constantly like, I almost fell asleep all the time, which is not good because that means I'm not really going to be able to enjoy the book as much as possible if I'm constantly falling asleep, obviously. So in order to solve that, I need a good night routine so that I can actually go to bed on time and, you know, take into account that I might want to read for quite a bit before bed. Because I did notice I really like reading in bed instead of just like on the couch, just chilling. I like to do it before I go to bed. So tonight, my plan is to just, at 11 p.m, I usually go to bed at like midnight or 1 p.m. At 11 p.m, all screens are gonna go off, all screens are gonna close, and then I'm gonna do my nighttime routine, and then I will still have enough time in bed to read. So that's the plan. We'll see how that goes. Also, I forgot to give an update on what I'm reading. Obviously, just want to say the Night Circus, wow, this book is better than I expected. I didn't really know what to expect from it because everyone was hyping it up, but I just, you know, didn't really know what to expect. It's wonderful. I'm loving it. It feels like a dream. Like you're just reading a beautiful dream, and I just want to be there, and I want to talk to all of these characters and be in the circus, and I'm having a great time. So this is the perfect book to read right now because I am not mad forcing myself to read this book every day. Hello, good evening. It is currently almost 10:30. Just did some yoga. I've been kind of like not really feeling it with the daily yoga lately, so I just did like a 5-minute yoga practice, but it still counts. And I like turned off my screens. I was watching a Netflix show. I was watching Behind Her Eyes, and I could have watched the last episode, but I was like, no, I'm gonna stick to what I want to do, and I'm gonna go to bed and like read for, I still have 50 minutes to go today because I read for 10 minutes this morning. It's like really early for me to start going to bed, but I just plan on taking off my makeup, putting on my pajamas, and then just going into bed and read a little bit. I'm not gonna brush my teeth yet because I want to have a cup of tea. Where's my book? But yeah, I'm really excited because I could have watched like the last episode, but honestly, I'm not really super enjoying the show anyway, and I know that I would probably enjoy reading a lot more. But the thing is that when you're watching like a show or playing a game, it's just really easy to just continue and just continue the entire evening, and then kind of foregoing the option to like reading a book, even though I know I would probably have a lot more fun reading this book because I'm very much enjoying the Night Circus. So I'm gonna take off my makeup and then have a cozy evening. I just really hope I don't fall asleep, you know? Okay, I've been reading. I've done my hour. I did get really drowsy, which I didn't expect because I never get sleepy before midnight, but it's probably just because I've been sitting in my bed the whole time. But I ended up reading 60 pages, which is really nice. So yeah, for now, good night. Good morning, everyone. So, I have a little confession to make. I didn't film anything yesterday, and I also didn't read anything yesterday. So I could say I filmed my own challenge already, but just because I didn't read an hour for one day doesn't mean I shouldn't continue to try for the next days of this vlog. It's like I just really wasn't feeling it yesterday, and I really thought I could just force myself to read right now, but I just really didn't want to, and I just didn't know should I force myself to just read, because that's kind of the point of this challenge, that I just make that time for myself, or am I only gonna not enjoy the reading process if I force myself to read for another hour? And I ended up doing nothing. Am I happy with that? No. But I will continue to do it because the first 2 days I really enjoyed just carving out that time to read. And I already read for half an hour this morning during breakfast, and I ended up finishing Hope in the Dark by Rebecca Solnit. I finally finished it. I don't really know what my opinion on this is yet. I feel like I didn't really get as much out of it as I hoped I would. A lot of it was just kind of, I don't know, it felt a little bit empty in ways, but then there are also other passages that I really liked, so just gonna let it sink in. I'm just happy I finished this one. And I will continue to read The Night Circus. And oh, package for me. Well, this is great timing. This is just perfect timing. They're not books, unfortunately, but I'll just show them to you very quickly. First off, this is exciting. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. I'm going to restock the oldest bookmarks, like the original ones. These are just the two, but I'm assuming that the third one is gonna be delivered soon. But a lot of you guys asked me to restock the old bookmarks, so they will be coming soon to my Etsy shop. And then this package, I mentioned this on Twitter already, but I don't have a skincare routine, so I decided maybe I should get a skincare routine. Anyway, I bought a bunch of stuff from The Ordinary. I have rosehip seed oil. It just looks really cool with the little dropper things. Sunscreen, very important. Just a standard moisturizer, and I also have their standard cleanser. Looking fancy smancy. I am now gonna go on a walk because the weather is really nice. It's been very sunny suddenly. Last week we had snow, and now suddenly it's really sunny and warm outside. Oh well, anyways, so I'm just gonna go for a quick walk to make use of the sun, you know. But I gotta make sure that I'm back before 5 because there's gonna be an online event thing where the cast of Shadow and Bone, the Netflix show, is gonna do a Q&A, and they're gonna show a sneak peek. And obviously I wanna be there. Okay, that was really nice. I actually went on a walk without listening to an audiobook for once. And if you're like me and you listen to an audiobook every single time you go on a walk, I highly recommend not doing it for once. I thought that I would be bored to tears without an audiobook or a podcast to listen to, but honestly, it was really nice. I noticed a lot of things that I usually don't notice when I go on walks. But now, what time is it? Okay, it's 4 o'clock.
3 hours later.
So, guess who completely lost track of time playing games and completely missed that there was a trailer dropping for Shadow and Bone? It's me. Why? So, I kind of half expected, or at least hoped, that there would be a trailer dropping today, which is why I wanted it to be on time so I could still film a reaction video before it got dark outside. But you know, sometimes you start playing Stardew Valley and suddenly it's 3 hours later and now it's dark outside. I want to watch it so bad. I want to watch it so bad, but I can't film when it's dark outside. And I want to get like my first reaction and ideas on camera. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow and I'm gonna make like a separate reaction video for you guys. But hey, now we're on the topic.
I want to tell you guys about Stardew Valley.
It's like my new obsession and I want to show you my farm. It's like an Animal Crossing type game where you have a farm and a village and you can become friends with everyone and you can like date everyone. It's my farm. It's raining. It's kind of ugly, not gonna lie, but like my favorite feature is you can date people and I'm like romancing everyone. Currently trying to date Emily and Harvey, and also I really want to romance Sebastian and Abigail, who are like best friends, but that doesn't stop me. If you're still looking for just like a fun, addicting, easy to play, wholesome game, I highly recommend Stardew Valley. Good morning. I am gonna do my makeup, but while I do my makeup, I thought we could talk a little bit about The Night Circus, which I've been reading before bed every day. I've noticed, by the way, concerning this challenge, that it's not so much the reading for an hour every day that's nice, because, well, I do have to kind of force myself to read an hour, so I'm constantly kind of thinking about, oh, how long has it been? How long do I still have to go? And that's not necessarily very nice, but I do like that it's kind of given me a reading routine. So because of this challenge, I just decided to read before bed every day and not compromise for that. And that has actually been really nice. You know, I just make sure that I go to bed a little bit earlier so that I still have time to read before bed. And it's been really nice because it's just a very easy way to read every day. This is not a groundbreaking thing. I know most people read before bed every day. I usually don't, because when I get in bed, it's already so late that I really need to go to bed or else I'll fall asleep while reading. And speaking of The Night Circus, I am absolutely loving that book. So if you're like me and you've just had it on your shelf for a while, please pick it up. It's wonderful. And I love stories like that are just kind of like descriptions and experiences of very magical things. I'm a little over halfway through the book right now, and there's like this whole part where this romance is being developed between the two main character magicians, and it's so beautiful. Like, it's so wonderfully written, and just I just feel it so much. A book like this is just exactly what I want from a fantasy story, you know, just a beautiful, fantastical experience. So although this is a really long book, like over 600 pages, and I'm only on page 370, I'm not mad. Like, I want to stay in this world for as long as possible. Okay, somehow it took me 5 hours to get the reaction video ready. I don't know why. I mean, it's just a reaction video, but for some reason it just took me a really long time to get everything ready. But that is uploading now. I'm so happy. And now I'm gonna make dinner because suddenly it's evening. And then I'm gonna play Stardew Valley. And you can't stop me. But I will make sure that I somehow get my 1 hour of reading done somewhere. Good morning everyone, it is Monday, which means that I've been now doing this weekly reading vlog in which I try to read an hour every day for 5.5 days, and I'm gonna end it here. And I thought I would talk about how it's been, what I've learned, you know, reflect a little bit. First of all, I did finish this book, which I had already started. Like, I was already almost finished with that, of course. And I think in the end, I kind of expected or hoped that I would finish the Night Circus this week, which I didn't, and I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. But I think that's just because I just don't really read very fast. And also, it's just a long book. I think I ended up reading 250 pages in the last 5 days, which is actually pretty normal. Like 50 pages a day, that's pretty good in my opinion. So you're gonna have to wait for my wrap up. Hopefully I can still finish it in time and then I can talk about it in my wrap up. Okay, so of course the question is, how did I do? How did I do my challenge of trying to read an hour every day? Well, we've all seen that I missed an entire day, and I'm sure there have been a few days where maybe I didn't read like exactly get to that 60 minute mark. So technically I did fail my own challenge, which is kind of sad. Like, it wasn't really that difficult to just read an hour every day, and I still didn't do it. But I do really notice that I read way more this week than I would have done if I didn't do this challenge. And what I noticed is that it doesn't really matter how much time I spend reading. What matters the most is that I take the time to at least start reading. Like, otherwise there would have been many days where I would just not even pick up the book and just not even look at it. But now at least I had an incentive every day to at least read a little bit and at least start reading a little bit. And then usually, you know, if you're into it, if you're enjoying the book, I'll just keep reading, and then it doesn't really matter if that's 30 minutes or an hour or longer. Because I did also notice it's not really fun to force myself to read for a certain amount of time. I think for some people it might really work, but personally I noticed, you know, constantly having to think about, well, I do have to read for at least an hour. It kind of turns it into like a chore, like something with like a very specific goal, when in reality, I mean, it's just a hobby. You know, I shouldn't turn this into a chore. If I don't feel like reading for like an entire hour because I'd rather spend my free time doing one other of my hobbies, like playing Stardew Valley, I should be able to just do that. Like, I shouldn't have to force myself to spend my free time reading because that is somehow a superior hobby. All of my hobbies are equal, and if I want to spend some time doing another hobby, that's okay. But what does work is to at least create the opportunity for myself to sit down and read a little bit. So what really helped me the most the past week is to create kind of a routine to start reading. You know, I now read before bed every day, and that has really stuck with me. I can't believe that the conclusion of this video is just, wow, Leonie discovered reading before going to bed. Groundbreaking, revolutionary. I'm sure many of you already do this. You know, it just really helps to find a routine where you just always give yourself the opportunity to pick up a book, because, you know, maybe just starting can be the hardest part. I noticed that reading in the morning, which I tried to do for a few days, doesn't really work, because in the morning I'm just not really in the mood to like sit down and get lost in a book, but in the evening it works really well for me. So I think that's just different for everyone. Everyone has a different routine. Everyone has a different time that they feel like reading the most. So yeah, I think the overall conclusion of this is I don't need to force myself to read because it's just a hobby, but I do need to kind of give myself a little nudge to give myself more opportunity to read, and I can do that best by just putting it into a routine. Let me know if you have ways to like read more, if you have a reading routine, etc. Don't forget to check out the link in the description if you want to get yourself a Nordgreen watch. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I really hope you did, and I will see you soon in another one soon. Goodbye.